I mean, a well-known name, a very beautiful and magnificent personality. In short, I've just met her. I haven't met her yet, right? I haven't met her formally or informally, but I just saw how she managed the entire show for my dream lady, Kiran Bedi. It was amazing how she said, no, how would the world have known after all this time since she was there back then? She was saying it with such simplicity and humility in front of the audience. And I never thought that after 15 or 17 minutes, I'd be sitting right next to her and trying my luck. I feel honored.
That honor is mine. Let me say, because as you said with that ma'am, it was also like a fan moment.
Yes, she said fan moment, fangirl moment.
Yes, to some extent.
I hope that no one needs an introduction to you, but we need your introduction. So please introduce yourself.
So I am Dr. Avinder K.R.A, and I am the Deputy Director here at the Center of Excellence for Entrepreneurship and Behavioral Sciences. This is actually a center that has been created to bring in advanced pedagogy on how to teach the youth coming into higher education institutions. So we are actually giving training to the faculty to bring student-centric pedagogy into institutions. The focus is on experiential learning. So these days we are involved in all of this.
How long have you been associated with this university, ma'am?
Oh, I am actually from this very place. I have been with SGT University for more than a decade.
There's much more to come, much more to come. We come every moment to see more of ma'am's smiling and happy face. Ma'am, where does this thing come from? This passion, this CEBS, whatever you call it, it comes. Because we know that the mindset of Gen Z is very different. Today they want to study psychology, tomorrow they want to be fashion designers, next year a model, or sometimes they want to be a writer. So teachers are left surprised and we parents are just the same. How are you creating this harmony through this CEBS, which you call CEBS?
So CEBS is actually a center where we do training exercises where we deliver AI integrated modules. There are modules based on how to bring the youth towards learning in the classroom. And because we know that they are digital natives, right? Because they are digital natives, their attention span is different. So for teachers, for faculty members to bridge that gap, the first thing they need to do is build a rapport with them and guide them through their problems as a mentor. So become a mentor. First, create a connection, and then you bring the content that you have.
That friendly relationship.
Yes. And then bringing that readiness as to why you are here and how we are going to do this. That's exactly what we're trying to do.
What inspired SGT University to come up with this idea?
It was actually, I'd say, a thought process that started with our founder, that is the managing trustee of the university. So he is Mr. Manmohan Singh Chawla. So this was his vision. He is a very progressive thinking person. So whenever we sat together, he'd say, I want every SGT student to be on par with any student in the world. Therefore, we shouldn't lag behind in any way. If it's AI, then the students should know it's AI and how to use it, how to benefit from it. Secondly, he wanted the faculty members to evolve too, so they could understand where this Gen Z, as we call them, stands. Right, as I said, they're digital natives, but at the same time, they're also very emotionally fragile. Yes.
Very sensitive, they're in a state of mind.
Because they're living in social media, right? They feel the need for that validation. So if they're seeking validation, they also need to be taught how to make themselves resilient. So I'm happy to share here that we actually have the CEE, which is educating the teachers. Along with that, we also have a student wing. It's called Calm Spaces. So that's where the students get support. If you want to learn, if you have any difficulty with emotional, academic, or building connections with experts, that place is Calm Spaces. Today we see
our Gen Z. They're very dependent on how they look, how many likes, hearts, and comments they're getting on their Insta. Every day we see news that bloggers and influencers are committing suicide because one morning when they woke up and opened their Insta, they found that their followers and subscribers were decreasing and they can't bear it. So they've started living for someone else's validation or dream. And they aren't their parents or teachers, but strangers from outside. So this is going to prove very helpful for Gen Z.
As I said, we're first trying to make faculty members into mentors. So when I talk about building rapport, it means putting yourself in their shoes to see what they're going through. And that's the reason why Calm Spaces exist. It's also because we organize regular classes and sessions where we talk about mindfulness, where we talk about detoxing ourselves from social media, creating those boundaries, and then being self-aware. I'd like to mention that there's also a peer listening program here. So when we say peer listening, it means that the students themselves,
DTK.
yes, they're being selected. They're being given training so they can listen to someone who has something on their mind and wants to express it. If they have no one, they can reach out to them.
I think this is very common. Many psychologists are seeing a lot of cases now.
Yes,
They feel they studied, went to school, took exams, or moved to the next grade, and that too through online exams. And then they started their Instagram and WhatsApp. There are many cases, but if you go to psychologists or psychiatrists, their lives are an open book. I think these generations have had to endure a lot.
absolutely. And I'd say it's not just because of COVID, but also because of social media, which they are connected to. And to be honest, from the outside, it feels very liberating. But there's a lot of hard work behind that one candid shot. Of course, many shots must have been rejected. What was the thought behind it?
Yes,
So the moment you start empathizing, the moment you realize that this is a journey, and for that journey, you have to slow yourself down. That's why we try to create spaces where they can become aware. We try to create spaces where teachers know how to help with this. And we try to bring in teaching methods that keep them engaged and create excitement in them.
created beyond from social media.
Yes. And about classrooms, I'd like to mention here that classrooms aren't just those same old classrooms. I'm not just talking about a room with four walls.
It could even be under a tree.
Yes, it can be under a tree. It can be in an amphitheater. It can be in the form of outreach within society. It can be near the water treatment plant we have here. It can be among people, like going to a nearby village and talking to them. So when you start having those experiences, you start moving away from media. Because when you go on media, you look for content that connects you to it. So this brings me to this point.
Nowadays, Gen Z is struggling with a lot of social anxiety. They've stopped meeting people. This Badra and Bachcha, then you should be happy playing with Starbucks. Sorry, I don't think I like anyone, but I think Badra and Bachcha were a hub. I think we all have our own distinct identity. We don't have a measure. We have no sense of our own identity. We've been trained to live with this very feeling. We don't take it the wrong way. I don't ask this. Curiosity, my mind isn't feeling this way. We all know that we have knowledge. But she said that I'm already trained. How was that? Tell me something about it.
So now that you're asking me if we need to adapt, right? For example, I'll just ask you, if you go to be a part of a friend's celebration, the gift you take for them, is it according to your choice or according to the choice of the person who is going to receive it?
That's the point. I think I've got my answer. But still, sometimes, because I've known you for a long time, I know what other kinds of colors you'd like besides purple. And yes, very importantly, sometimes we're invited to the homes of relatives we've never even met, but we have to take a gift. So there's always a true story behind it.
There is. So in such situations, you always try to weigh the pros and cons,
Yes,
right? One where you know and you take care of the needs. One where you take a risk and say, go and experience it and then decide. So I'd say that facilitators or teachers need to play both roles. One where it's, I understand. Two, walk this path with me and see if it's exciting enough for you. So they need to include both things. So you have to adapt to some extent. You have to make them flexible and adapt according to what's necessary or what they're looking for. Because I'll give you an example. There was a student in one of my batches. He came and said, "Ma'am, I'm only here for the degree. I don't want anything else. I have a family business. So what should I do?" So I just looked at him. I knew I wouldn't be able to change this student right now. Yes, I understand. I just told him that you want the degree, right? He said yes. So if you want the degree, what are the criteria you need to fulfill? He said, I don't know the criteria. I said, just to start with, look at them, make sure they're completed. Don't worry beyond that. The degree you'll get, just make sure that much work is done. If you don't do this, then you won't get it. So that was his turning point. He said, I realized you've understood my strategy and now you've also put the ball in my court. I need to know what to do to get the degree. By the way, that same student was very good in my specific course. And he
was the one who got 88% marks. I think he worked on that Pied Piper thing. I'd love to be a Pied Piper. Yes, I'd love to be a Pied Piper. He had turned the whole thing around in a different way. Being a Pied Piper for people, that's the main objective here. The coach who's there is a Pied Piper. He has completely changed the child. So I think there are more mentors than faculty at SGTU, right? As you told us. So we're happy to share that all the faculty members,
they are not just here to teach. They are also part of this environment where they make you feel completely at ease and comfortable. They say, yes, you.
And we are also learning.
We are also learning.
Learning.
We are learning. Because whatever the process, whether I talk to you or teach someone, we are all from each other.
Learning.
What will your reaction be? That will shape my reaction. So we feel that the cycle never ends. That is how learning happens. So students come with their ideas, we go into the classroom with our ideas, and then it is a blend.
Like leftover rice, new vegetables, we mix them, add tempering, and something new is created. And that is just everything. Yesterday, I was introduced to her as yesterday's Wikipedia.
And it was.
Actually, today there was no tempering or any other mixture. She is a pure Wikipedia.
It is my privilege.
Having you in this environment is a privilege for me.
I am very happy to.
Thank you for joining.